I'm James Welsh, son of the owner of Big Ten Tavern in Arden Hills. As an immigrant, my great-great-grandmother came over and they had a good amount of money, and they moved to St. Paul and they purchased a corner lot on Rice, Maryland, and built a bar. Back then it was an up-and-coming area. So back then it was undeveloped all the way, and it was somewhere where they could purchase land and start building their empire. Also got into a gas station business and a hardware store, and they were pretty wealthy, so they loaned a lot of people money. They were kind of in the loan business. They kind of ran the whole neighborhood. Each son had a home next to the bar. They were all owned by the family. The whole block was owned by the family. They tore one down about 4 years ago when they tore the bar down, but you can still see those houses on Rice, Maryland. And then when Prohibition came, they turned it into a hardware store, but they were still bootlegging liquor underneath the counter, and Grandma was making bathtub gin, and I've heard a lot of different stories. And then after Prohibition, they opened back up as a bar, and they added food at that time. John took over. John had 6 children. Florian, who was my grandfather, he ended up taking over the bar from his father. Back then you had to move your liquor license. Got another one here in Arden Hills and opened a bar in Arden Hills. And moved out here because of the Army base that was being built across the street. Which didn't go over very well with my great-grandmother at the time, my grandpa Florian. A real strong businessman, I guess you could say. My dad and my Uncle Jim, they went to their dad, Florian, and said that they both wanted to buy the bar. My grandpa told his son Jim to leave, and Jack stayed in the room, and he said, either I sell it to you or I sell it to somebody else, but I'm not selling it to you and your brother. You and your brothers would run a great business together, but your wives would tear each other's heads off. The first thing my dad did was started just adding onto the building a little bit here and a little bit there, and making a business out of it, and ran it for 40 years. You know, my siblings didn't want to choose this path, and it kind of seemed like it was open for me to take. I was the middle child, and might as well take a run at it and see how it works. Since I've gotten involved with the family business, I have started 3 other companies that run alongside of the bar and restaurant. Still waiting to get that ownership position. It's an atmosphere that's hard to explain. It's something that you would find if you were up north or, you know, somewhere out in the countryside. You know, we haven't changed the atmosphere too much. You know, we've upgraded a lot of things, but we're trying to keep the hominess of the bar the same as it always has been. I'm proud to have the Welsh bar and the Welsh name, and, you know, be something that is this big and this many generations, and the opportunity to pass it on to my son, one of my sons, or both. I might have to open another bar if they both want to be in the bar business. We'll see.